Welcome back to the High Value Man Conversation. My friends, this is episode 35. And today we are talking about the path. Every man is on a path, is on a journey. He's going somewhere. Whether he knows it or not. And on this episode, I am sharing with you the path for the 4 pillars of a high value man life: faith, family, fitness, and finances, so that you get the most out of a life, to lead with impact, inspiration. More so than anything, you live to your God-given talents, gifts, and abilities. And if you're listening to this episode, this is an episode that you're definitely going to want to check out on the YouTube. I've got some technology set up, and I'm sharing a little bit of the path and the journey with you, from not only just the words and the story today, but also some pictures. Please don't judge my drawing, my friends. This path, this journey, it is so simple, so straightforward. And when you see exactly what you need to do, the 4 steps you need to do, and how to enhance each of those steps through basic daily principles and practices, you'll see how easy it is to live your life of your vocation. If you've been following the content for any amount of time, you know that there are 6 V's. There used to be 5, but we graduated to 6. 6 V's, a formula for success for the High Value Man Accelerator, for all of our coaching. We know that step number 1 comes down to vision. You got to know where you're going. Without a roadmap, without a blueprint, there's no way that you're ever going to get there. The vision then points way to your values. Your values are your compass, your core values. Every man should have a set of core values that he makes decisions from. Your core values ultimately define who you are as a man. If you're living without core values, you're living accidentally. And that is part of the PAM problem, that passive aggressive man problem. Once you got your vision, you got your values stacked in, you now need to master some victories. Victories build your confidence and your competence so that you can become more courageous and step into greater challenges. You need consistent victories. First thing in the morning, drinking that water, making your bed, not hitting the snooze button, crushing your workout, rereading, refining your vision, and stepping into your day with confidence and competence all comes down to stacking consistent victories. Once you got your vision, your values, and your victories, now you begin to have the momentum to overcome your vices. Your vices are not only just the drinking, the drugs, the masturbation, the porn, all those PAM things that you shouldn't be doing that are distractions from keeping you from living your best life. Your vices are best tackled when you have consistent wins. That's where the victories come in. So we got the vision, we got the values, we got the victories, and we got the vices that we're overcoming. Now, the beautiful thing happens. You start to define, refine, and understand your voice. This is the newest addition to the V family, is your voice. You see, your voice becomes the platform and the message so that you can share all your lessons, all your struggles, all of your story, and help other people along the path and the journey. Because that's what it's all about. It's about helping and serving other people along the path and the journey. You probably know this already, but when in doubt, focus out on your voice gives you the gateway to be able to serve others. Once you got your vision, your values, your victories, and your vices, and your voice dialed in, it paints the way to your vocation. You see, the vocation is why you're here. This is your divine blueprint. This is what God built you for. This is the reason for all of your misery, so that it can turn into your ministry, the message of your life. Your vocation is your blueprint for your life. It's the thing that's missing. It's the thing that haunts you. It is the piece that old men wish that they had strived after in all of those years when they get to the end of their life. It is the big, hairy, audacious goals that every single man wants. This is the formula, my friend. It is a formula for success, and it is the formula that we go over in the High Value Man Accelerator. But you don't even need to be in the coaching program to see how this formula works so well. And I want to share with you. And again, if you're listening to this on the Spotify, if you're listening to this as you're driving, this would be a really good episode to go back and look at, because what I'm drawing here for our YouTube viewers is I got a man on a ledge. It's a little stick figure that you're looking at here. And this man on the ledge represents you. It represents you exactly where you are on the edge of decision. It represents where you are when you're living with hesitation. When you're living as that PAM man, that passive aggressive man that's passive with his hopes, his dreams, and desires. He's got the whisper of God that says, jump towards that thing that you want, but he's afraid. Instead of jumping off the ledge, over the edge into the wild unknown, he goes back to the past. He goes back to the past, the old familiar, the toxic relationships, the drinking, the drugs, the distraction. He goes back to all those things that keep him stuck and keep him right on the ledge, knowing that somewhere in the future, off in the distance, is this thing that he wants, this mountain that he gets to climb, this peak, this path of fulfillment. And it's off in the distance, and every man has this dream on his heart, believing that somewhere there is a peak that if he only climbed it, the great treasure of all of life would be there for him. Every man has this. And the whisper of God says, jump off the ledge, over the edge into the wild unknown, towards this vocation that you want, this hope, this dream, this way of living. But so many men get stuck. They get stuck right on the edge, and they live most of their life walking out towards that thing they want, but never fully jumping off. We know these guys. We know these guys. They're the Al Bundy. These are the guys that are living in yesterday. These are the guys that are choosing not to step forward in faith. Faith is the first step. It is the first step to move closer towards the life that you want to live, that you know you're designed to live. If you're anything like me, your practice of faith, your understanding of faith may be ethereal. It may not be something concrete, practical, and tactical. So I'm going to give you some principles and practices to break down the practice of faith so it's something that you can do so that you can eventually be. You see, faith comes down to four specific daily practices. Practice number one is to pray. Every religious practice has a practice of prayer. And prayer, if you've never prayed to the unseen, can be a little bit intimidating. And so I'm going to break that down even more for you. You see, prayer is an acronym, and it all comes down to priming, receiving, asking, and putting yourself in a state of yes. And we're going to go that in a little bit more detail. But pray is the first step. Then you must read. Read is the foundation to developing a better mindset, reading great scripture so you can learn a different way of thinking, so that you can learn a different way of doing and being. Once you pray, once you read, you must fast. Fasting from your distractions is the gateway to freedom. All those vices that keep you stuck on the ledge, never truly jumping off, going back to the past, the familiar, the drinking, the drugs, the masturbation, the porn, and all the vices under the surface, the anger, the procrastination, the irritation, all of those vices need to be fasted from for periodic periods of time. Fasting allows you distance from the distractions so you can see clearly this point in the future that will draw you forward. And the very last piece of the four practices of faith is to teach. You see, if the lessons die with you, then the lessons die with you. Teaching bridges the gap where we realize that all learning is all about giving, where the teacher and the student come together in a symbiotic relationship to truly help heal and to truly help lift us up. This is the foundation of faith. These daily four, core four, give you vision. If you were to spend 15 minutes in each of these practices, praying, reading scripture, fasting, and knowing what specifically you need to distance from, and teaching, preaching, and sharing the message with others, you would develop vision. Vision is the first step to break you away from the ledge of vices. Vision points the way to the life that you want to live. If you don't have a roadmap, how will you ever know if you're in heaven? Your second piece is family. You see, you need allies and alliances as you make this journey across towards the vocation that you want. Your faith gets you off the ledge, and your family keeps you on the journey. Family, again, breaks down to four principles, four practices that you must master, and they are deepened as you practice your faith. Practice number one is to love. You see, if you pray and you learn to petition and ask from the heavens above and create a relationship, not a religion, with a higher power, you will learn how to love differently. Learning how to read scripture opens up the doorway to learning how to learn differently. We as men get stuck in our old ways. And if you truly want to lead your family, to lead and impact them, to impact future generations, to lead your wife, to lead your kids, you have to learn how to think differently. And biblical principles are the foundation to a greater way of learning. If you're learning how to love and you're learning how to learn, you eventually learn how to lead. You have the right to lead. And the beautiful thing is, as you practice faith and fast from your distractions, you learn to lead your body. You love, you learn, and you lead creates the opportunity to leave a legacy. As men, we all will leave a legacy behind. Some of us will leave an accidental legacy, the type of legacy that we will spend all of our time trying to distract from through the drinking and the drugs. Most of us grew up in a household where we are trying to unbecome from the legacy that our parents gave us accidentally. Without intention and intention to specific core values, your family will be led down a wrong legacy. You will leave a negative impact on future generations because you chose not to love, not to learn, not to lead, and not to leave an intentional legacy. So your faith and your family build together. Now you're creating some momentum, and it comes down now to the daily discipline. This is fitness. This is the third F-bomb, if you will, on the path to fulfillment. Fitness breaks down to 4 core parts of the body, of the mind, of the spirit, and of the emotions. We are 4 parts in all that we do as men. There are 4 parts that we operate in, 4 parts that require discipline, dedication, daily devotion. There are 4 parts that must be mastered as a man to truly live a life of mastery, to truly live with your fulfillment in place. So your fitness is broken down into 4 parts. As you pray, as you love, your spirit gets strong. As you read, as you learn, your mind gets flexible. As you fast and lead your body, you have the strength to endure. And as you teach with the impact of legacy, living by core values, your heart begins to lead the way. This is your victories. These are specific practices that you get to do to deepen your relationship in confidence and competence. You as a man, the only time you may feel insecure, out of control, is when one of those 4 parts is out of integrity. When one of those 4 parts is out of integrity, this is when all of the distractions and vices start to show up. If you expect to live a great life, you must master all of your meat suit. That's where the discipline and the daily dedication of mastering and understanding your spirit, your mind, your body, and your heart all come into stacking consistent victories. The last but not least is your finances. Your finances, so many men start here. They believe that the results in the bank account, the money that they receive is going to provide them the income and the impact and that great sense of worth. But the truth of the matter, finances are the results of the life you've been living. They are the lagging measure from the leading effort that you do. They are the result of the faith and the foundation and the allies and alliances that you have built. Your finances show your daily discipline that shows up inside of your fitness. Your finances are the last piece. And ultimately what your finances do is they give you voice. They give you the opportunity to lead with love so that you can truly show up and serve. See, when you pray and you love and you have your spirit conditioned and strong, you are inspired. The root of inspired literally means to be in spirit. In spirit means that you are being spirit-led. The Holy Spirit is speaking through you and to you, and you're able to tap into the consciousness, the eternal library, so that you can share truth. Truth is truth. No matter what language or religion you speak from, truth is truth. As you read and learn and condition and strengthen your mind, you learn how to generate income. If you have a money problem where you don't make enough, you don't know how to master the ability to produce, which is essentially masculine, you have a thinking and a learning problem. There is an abundance and prosperity of money inside of the world. And if you struggle to produce income, it's because you struggle to learn. The path shows the way to the areas that you get to grow and develop in your results. As you inspire and live and produce income, you get to invest. This is truly where the idea of legacy gets to live, where your investments in yourself produce tenfold the income and investments in future generations. And so you're fasting and leading your body, developing physical strength by resisting your temptation and delaying gratification, produce and create the ability to invest. Last but not least, under the finances category, the results of the life that you've been living is the ability to impact. As a man, we all have the desire to leave something behind. And again, you will leave something behind, either intentionally or accidentally. Think about all of the hurt, the big T and little t trauma that you carry around where father wasn't there for you. He did not give you the individual one-on-one attention to tell you that you were good enough and that you were worthy. He did not give you the inheritance that you so desired as a young man simply because he was living accidentally, because he did not master his faith, because he never truly believed in himself or higher power, because he did not lead, love, or learn to think about legacy with his family, because he never disciplined his 4 parts, and because he never thought an impact with his finances. He left you an inheritance that you are still paying off a debt. Now, you as a man that is walking this path of fulfillment to uncover, discover, and to live your life's vocation, to truly become the man that God says you are, this is the gateway for all that you must do. Ultimately, at the end of the day, if you don't follow a formula similar to this, you're going to be stuck on that edge of life. To simplify all this and to break it down even more, if you jump off the ledge and put God first, respect yourself and respect those closest to you, take massive ownership in all outcomes, realizing that you're ultimately responsible for everything in your life. If you think in win-win with your finances and the legacy you're going to leave behind, if your goal is to grow the kingdom, to live in integrity, to realize, remember that you are from a noble lineage, you will always grow and you will always give. Inside the heart of every man is the desire to be a king. For this path off the ledge, off the edge, into the wild unknown, for it to lead to the crown of life that all men hope to have, desire to have, not realizing the first step begins with faith. Faith is the foundation, my friends. And as I said before at the start of this call, I want to give you the practical and the tactical ways that you can develop faith. Faith is not ethereal. It is not a matter of just believing in the unseen. There is a practice to faith. There is a practice to faith that grows as you grow. And it begins with the first practice, which is to pray. I love when things alliterate. Prayer is the foundation to all that you need to do. So the 4 practices of faith are, again, pray, read, fast, and teach. The first step to building your foundation of faith is to understand that PRAY is an acronym. It stands for Prime, Receive, Ask, and Yes. Here's what's so beautiful about this. All of the tools and teaching for you to become the best version of yourself come down to this first practice of faith. For you to deepen your relationship with the higher power and to put yourself in the state to be able to receive the message. You see, priming means I'm going to physiologically, psychologically, mentally, and spiritually get myself ready to receive the message. So how do you prime the system if you've never prayed before and you're brand new and beginner and someone just says you need faith? Well, the breakdown for this is very, very simple. You see, prime puts us in the state to receive God. And again, this is another acronym that I'm going to break down for you. God is a style of breathing. The God breath is the breakdown in breathing that gets your nervous system in alignment to be able to receive the message. Check this out. In our ancient language and text, if you look at the root word of spirituality, which is spirit, spirit literally means to breathe. Our ancestors knew thousands and thousands of years ago, that breath, this unseen thing that we cannot touch, taste, or feel, that we have no other experience of other than to know that when we go without it, we desperately need it. Have you ever felt spiritually starved? Is it not the same feeling as feeling starved for breath and oxygen? Have you ever felt that emptiness inside that nothing can fulfill you? Our God is a beautiful God with a great sense of humor, and he built inside of us the ability to fast from everything, water and food and sex and all the other appetites of the flesh, but we cannot fast from breath. He made us 100% dependent on this invisible source of energy. That is spirituality. To understand that from the metaphor of life, God breathed into us the breath of life. And we can't go that long without breathing. And if you know anything about the sympathetic nervous system, the parasympathetic nervous system, our ability for fight, flight, freeze, fawn, or to just straight up F it, or ability to rest and relax, all of those chemicals come from the pattern of our breath. And so when you think about God being in the breath, if you can manufacture a spiritual experience, it allows you to prime the system so that you can receive the message. And GOD stands for first go. This is the go breath. This is the fast and rapid style of breathing that increases adrenaline, cortisol, and your stress response. This is the fast, rapid breath that you might be familiar with if you've ever been startled, scared, or irritated. This is the fast and rapid breath that happens when you get rear-ended in traffic. This is the fast and rapid breath that happens when your mother-in-law shows up unexpectedly. This is the fast and rapid breath that happens when you get into that emotional fight or you're about to step into the ring in a fight. This is the fast and rapid breath that is part of your nervous system and your sympathetic response that flushes your body with adrenaline and cortisol. It allows you to run through a wall. But here's the thing. Most people, especially men, spend most of their time in short, shallow, fast, and rapid. They're breathing with a slow amount of adrenaline pumping through their body at all times. And they wonder why everybody's always on edge, so quick to anger, irritation, frustration, pessimism, and doubt. It's because they're breathing with a pattern that's increasing their stress response. The go breath, that fast and rapid breath, that one by one, that short and shallow, is a powerful breath to give you the adrenaline and energy needed if you need to go fight, flight. However, gone without paying attention to it, it runs most of our nervous systems. And so the go breath is the first piece of priming. Fast and rapid, equal in, equal out. Do this for 2 minutes at the start of this practice. The O breath is order. The Navy SEALs do a breath like this. It's called a box breath. The box breath is an even breath. It dissipates the energy that you just create inside your body by the fast and rapid so that you can think more clearly. It allows all the oxygen and CO2 to space and order. And so think about this breath when you need to make clear decisions, what you can do with your nervous system by simply changing how you breathe. 4 by 4 by 4 by 4 means when you breathe in for 4, you hold for 4, exhale for 4, and hold for 4. Do that for 2 minutes and see how you feel. And the D in the God breath stands for down regulate. This means you're activating the parasympathetic response. This is the rest and digest. This is the part of your nervous system that starts to slow things down. This gets you in a perfectly primed state for you to receive and ask the message so that you can get into the practice of prayer. This relaxes your nervous system, turns down the body, and allows you to hear the voice and the whisper. You see, our God is a God of silence, and unless you can calm the chatter in your brain, you're never going to receive the downloads and the inspiration. You're always going to be running around erratically. And so practice first priming the system by turning up the adrenaline, then order the nervous system by the 4 by 4 by 4, and then down regulate 2 by infinity. And so what does that mean? That means take a 2-second inhale, 2-second inhale, and exhale. and hold your empty lungs as long as you can. Inhale for 2. Exhale and hold as long as you can. You'll be shocked how long you can hold your breath. You'll be shocked at how long you can hold your breath. If you've done this correctly, you're now much calmer than you probably were. Your parasympathetic nervous system is now activated. You've done the first step, which is to prime the system so that you can receive the message. Now sit in stillness. Our God is a God of stillness. Sit in stillness for 2, 5, 10 minutes and just listen. Listen to what comes up. Listen to what comes up, and more than likely, you will have an opportunity to ask. Ask a question. This is what prayer is all about. Prayer is about a relationship with your higher power. Prayer is about a relationship with God. Prayer is all about relationship, and relationships begin with listening and asking. Ask for what you want. Ask for what you need to know. Ask for how you can be used. Ask for where your attention needs to be spent for the day. Ask for what you are pretending not to know. Ask for the insight and the awareness. Once you ask, you'll receive an answer, as you always do, because this is how the Holy Spirit works. And respond to the answer with a yes. You see, the yes is beautiful, my friends. Believing in something that does not yet exist is the foundation of faith. And so if in this priming, the receiving, the asking, God asks you to do something, respond wholeheartedly with the yes, as if it was already done. Pray and ask and believe that it's already done and you will receive it. This is the foundation of praying. Praying is not complicated, but you do need to prime the system. You need to receive the message, get yourself in a state of receivership. Ask what is on your heart, petition, and believe, yes, that it is possible. Once you pray, you're now ready to read. The body's warmed up. The physiological response is ready to receive. Now get into the Word. If you've never read the Bible before, a great place to start is the book of Proverbs. There just so happens to be 31 Proverbs in the Bible. The cool thing about that is there's 31 days in most months, and so you can read a chapter for every single day. And after 12 months, you've accumulated so much wisdom from one of the oldest books written. And the book of Proverbs is such a great gateway into the Bible, and allows you to extract wisdom so that you can apply it into the day. And as you're reading each day with each chapter, ask yourself, how can you show up with the fast? Where do you need to distance from your distractions? What about your life do you get to improve? If you don't apply the principles to the practice of your daily living, you miss out on an opportunity to truly transform and change. Now that you have prayed and you've read and you've fasted from your distractions, it's up to you to teach. If you look at all of what you do in your spiritual practice as an opportunity to teach, preach, and share the message, you will learn it so much more effectively. The power of teaching also puts you in the state of accountability. Accountability is one of the greatest ways for you to break free from distractions. Drinking, drugs, masturbation, porn, any number of habits that you need to change. By creating some accountability and teaching, it now creates a system of support so that you can show up along the path for someone else. We will often let ourselves down, but we won't let others down. And so the practice of teaching helps reinforce your foundation of faith. What did you learn in the book of Proverbs that you can bring to the dinner table? Men, the dinner table is not just for eating, it is for leading. And so how can you share this little bit of wisdom from the wisest man that ever lived and truly teach from the dinner table to be that inspiration of greatness? You see, faith begins all by you developing the relationship, but it ends with the practice of teaching. So you pray, you read, you fast, and you teach, and now you are well on your way to the very, very first step of growing the kingdom, building your vision, and developing faith. Guys, if you found this helpful, useful, and kind of fun with the picture and the drawing that we did here on this YouTube episode, do me a big favor, and leave a comment below. Tag a friend that needs to see this. Tag somebody that needs to deepen their relationship with faith. And if you want to see more episodes like this, where we break it down, we draw it out, and we get practical and tactical. If you want to learn more about the High Value Man Accelerator, where this is a part of all of our practice, our teaching, where we walk you through these 6 pillars, these 6 steps, shoot me a DM, shoot me an email, message me, let me know that you want to see more of the Grow King movement, #GrowKing, and let's make this happen together because the world needs better men. The world needs you to step up, show up, to go off that ledge, over the edge to the wild unknown and develop your vocation so you can inspire and ignite greatness in others. And if you love this, please do me a big favor. Leave me a 5-star review. Leave me a badass comment. Like, tag, and share it with somebody that needs to hear it along the path and journey. And you guys, I will see you on the next episode. Much love, many blessings, and I will talk to you soon. Boom.